I just saw the new Indiana Jones movie, and I'm gonna say what no one has said yet. And I have no idea why nobody has said this, so let's go. So welcome back, everybody. Yeah, I just got back from seeing Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and knowing how many mixed reviews there are, I went into it a huge fan of the franchise. I saw every movie back in the 80s, The Last Crusade, and even The Crystal Skull. So my biggest note on this film, the continuance of character and story, and I'm going to break it down. And I'm not only going to use this movie, The Dial of Destiny, as a reference, but this is also for another Harrison Ford franchise of movies, the last installments of the Skywalker saga from Star Wars. And this is relevant that I bring these two up because nobody's talked about these, but I'm going to talk about something bigger that no one is talking about for this movie franchise. So from seeing this from both sets of the franchise, both Star Wars and Indiana Jones, being huge fans of both of them, I'm saying this both as a fan and as a person who studies film and film theory and film production. So when you establish a world and you set up a set of characters that live within these worlds, you inherently set up rules for those characters in those worlds. And you set up believable motives for each character and the path that they're going to go down. And I know there's plot twists, but it's how these characters handle those twists and handle those challenges. And when you place these characters in a world and you let them face these situations from the beginning to where we meet them until the end of where their story ends, we go through what's called a character arc, right? And I think the last three movies of Star Wars and the last Indiana Jones film go hugely away from this. And I'm going to be brief about the Star Wars films because at this point, there are so many other channels and videos that have covered these like ad nauseum. So we go from Return of the Jedi, where the rebellion has defeated the Empire. Then we pick it back up at The Force Awakens, where the main heroes are supporting a new cast of characters. The old trilogy characters are now put in the back seat to the supporting cast. We've all accepted it. It is what it is. They made it, right? These are the new Disney installments. All of their character arcs that took 3 films to build, from A New Hope to Empire Strikes Back to Return of the Jedi, those character arcs, when you get to The Force Awakens, are gone. They're completely gone. We don't get any explanation, no backstory, no hint to where they were before. Maybe little bits and pieces, but nothing that could be construed as a story. And although I thought the movies were entertaining, because they are, you can sit down and enjoy them, but from a story point of view, it was lost. It was all over the place. And it continued to be lost all the way until The Rise of Skywalker, where we continue now with, new characters. We continue this mantra of having no character arcs for these characters. Again, the movie was very entertaining. Lots of great special effects and new characters were introduced. And I am going to get back to Indiana Jones. I am going to get back there. This is all relevant to that. But even in the old saga characters, they don't have arcs. And we don't, as an audience who wants to see how the Skywalker saga ends, we don't have a story that tells the end of the Skywalkers. Instead, we are now shown how the Palpatines actually won, and their story goes on. So can this be a story of the Skywalker saga can really be the story of how Darth Plagueis actually won through his apprentice, Darth Sidious, which now continues into his granddaughter. I mean, wouldn't you say? I think that's true. That's a good assessment. But everything I just said can be applied to Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. So we start this new movie, and this is going to be pretty much no spoilers. You can watch this and then go watch Indiana Jones, and it's just my interpretation of what I think, really. We start this new film, The Dial of Destiny. We see Indy in a really dark place. A question that I would like to ask for both movies is, why can't we just see the heroes in a great and happy place? Then something terrible happens, sets the action in motion, that makes them go on this adventure, and with some plot twists, They have to earn that place back to happiness. They might lose some allies, they might lose some friends, or people who they thought were friends but are now enemies. But instead, in both new franchises, we see them in old age, depressed, lost, and defunct. Is that how Hollywood sees the older generations now? My grandpa was a strong-willed man and continued to be that until the day he died. If something bad happened to him or anybody in that generation, you know, I'm talking about the majority of them, their characters were that they would face it head on. And in these new movies, they have to rely on new heroes, younger heroes, if you will, to either pick them up, remind them who their characters are. And that to me is bizarre and it's weird. And it really offers nothing new to the continued story. And that is what I'm really talking about here. We don't have a great continuance of story or character arc here. We aren't even offered a bridge that emotionally connects us on the hero's journey or why our hero is in this desperate state. We are just pretty much told to accept it. And I think the fan base has told Disney of what they think of their new ways to tell stories about our heroes. But what no one else is saying about this film is, why is Indy not more like his father? He had a great role model in Jones Sr., and it was a role model he could have fashioned himself after. And this older Indiana Jones had a great chance to continue this tradition of an elder statesperson who teaches the younger generation and guides them. And where was that here? I didn't see it anywhere. It's almost a narrative that's going around Disney right now saying that the older generation has nothing to give or say, and they did it to George Lucas by not considering any of his notes for the Skywalker saga, and now they did it to the Indiana Jones franchise by not allowing the Indiana Jones character to mature in a way that we all knew he could. So that was a big miss, but not following a continuance of character and story, that's what I'm talking about. You know, I'm also bringing up the fact that he should have been more like his dad. He had a big chance to be more like his dad, and I think that would have fit Indiana's character, you know, to a T. But we got what we got. So that's what I think about the new direction of the movie. As a summer popcorn film, I thought it was a great watch. I'm glad I watched it in the theater. It does its job to entertain. I thought it was a little bit too long. They could have cut it down by 45 minutes, but I had fun. And I think this does nothing to further the story of Indiana Jones, and I think it actually hurts the franchise and the character. So if you haven't seen it yet, if you have Disney Plus, I would say wait till then. If you love going to theater to see movies, you want a good summer popcorn movie to go see, I would say go see this. Definitely go see the new Spider-Man Miles Morales movie, and go see Mission Impossible, the new one that's coming out with Tom Cruise. I think those are going to be the big, you know, blockbusters that are coming out this year. So yeah, go. I would give this a 1 out of 10 to go see in a theater, and a 9 out of 10 to see on Disney Plus. But that's my take, and I hope we get back to concentrating on what's important in movies, the writing and the story. And I don't care if a movie cost $100 to make or it cost $100 million to make. If it's got a compelling story with compelling characters in a compelling situation, I'm watching. Story is why a generation fell in love with the original Star Wars, with the original Indiana Jones movies. We don't have to copy them and make new ones and try to repeat the old ones. But if we want to learn anything, it's to study what George Lucas created and grow from that seed. That's all we have to do. But that is my take. If you like this video, please give it a like. And if you want to see more videos from me, please consider subscribing. And visit all my links down below to support my channel in any way that you can. And also, if you want to, join my Patreon community or join my YouTube membership community. Your support makes all of these videos possible. And as always, my friends, thank you, and I will see you next time. I had a fedora around here, but I lost it. I'm sorry.
If you're new to the channel, check out the welcome video, or just check out the next episode. And please subscribe if you want to follow the journey. And remember, there is no shame in being a Padawan.